만개교 Sharingan.
Man, alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another versus battle. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be doing Obito Uchiha versus Pain. Now, this is a very controversial fight because these are your two #1s for your strongest Akatsuki members. And, you know, a lot of people disagree with my ranking Akatsuki's video, so I'm here just for the mode to prove my point. But in this video, we're going to be going against a few different variations of Obito, and we're also, to be fair, going to be using both Pain and Nagato. Now, even though I already stated who I think is stronger, I'm going to give it a fair chance because I feel like this is going to be a really good fight. And I really feel like Pain is going to get his ass whooped the entire time. I don't mean to be rude to all my Pain fanboys out there, but I'm just here to be truthful. And with those little details out the way, I think we should start getting right into the main points. All right, now into our first point to this fight, we're going to be, mainly talking about these two versions of Obito right here, being the masked one that fought against Minato and older Obito, basically Shippuden one, OrangeMask, because those are arguably the two most easiest ones for Nagato. I'm not going to say easiest ones, but I will say these are the ones that give him the fairest amount of fights. Also, you could throw a bone in there for the Mist Obito, the one that fought all the Mist ninjas. When he went rage, when he saw Rin die, you can throw him a bone and say he could probably beat that one. I forgot to mention this Obito earlier, but yeah, you could probably say Pain would probably beat him, little to no difficulty. But it mainly is going to start with the Obito that had to fight against Minato. And speaking on Minato, I also feel like Minato has the clearest and most just heaviest statement about this entire fight. He literally, when Naruto was fighting Pain, basically told him, yeah, Pain he's scary, he's important, he's strong, but the guy who's wearing the mask is the one that's pulling the strings behind the scene. He's the one you need to be worried about. And if Minato, of all people, was less worried about the dude who has a Rinnegan who his son is fighting right now, I don't think that can be more clear. And Minato was talking as if he, #1, believed that Naruto could beat Pain, which he eventually did, as we all know. And 2, he was talking as if he could go down there and beat Pain. So the fact that he had that much confidence that Obito was so much more of a threat than Pain was is a really big, a statement for somebody coming like Minato. And as we all know, Minato kind of like fondled Obito back in, when they fought. And for a conflict like that, granted, Obito was a lot younger, but Obito had a lot at his disposal at this point in time. He had the 9 tails, and he had his chains, and he had a Mangekyo Sharingan. And if Minato was more worried about this kid who he actually thought was Madara Uchiha, that is a lot to prove right there. And now we're going to be more so getting on into all my statements about Yellow Mask Obito being the one, of course, that fought Minato. Now, this Obito right here is very, very dangerous. And I feel like a lot of people like to sleep on him. Because anytime I truly debate Obito, I normally always use this Obito if I don't use the Rinnegan. Because I feel like this Obito is by far the most dangerous one, like by a long shot. Especially throughout like most of the series, because this Obito has a Mangekyo Sharingan, of course, as we all know. He has the chains and he has the 9 tails. Now I'm going to go into detail about both those 9 tails and the chains. Now the chains, I don't know what people think, or how they just managed to forget this out of their head, but people seem to forget how OP and how broken these chains are that Obito have. Like, these things are amazing. Like, I truly, like, anytime, like I said earlier, I debate with anyone, I always bring up the chains, and they always ask me, well, those things aren't really that important, and I immediately cut them off because they are such a game changer for Obito. In my opinion, there's no reason Obito should have never got rid of these, because they are top tier. If he was going against anyone else but Minato, it could have been a wrap, because it's such a smart idea. And this is #1, his #1 way to win against the Pains. I definitely feel that Obito with the chains, he attaches those things on his wrist. He shoots straight towards one of the passive pain, wraps them up, turn around, and shoots them in the Kamui dimension, and that's one pain gone. And we know it's very effective because, like I said earlier, if he was going against anyone else that wasn't Minato, that was not just that freaking fast, it would have been a wraps for them because those chains are that broken. And I feel like that is such an easy way for Obito to like wrap it up that quick, because the chains are just that nice of a weapon that I truly don't know why he got rid of when he got older. He definitely should have kept them. But now I'm going to speak on the Nine Tails. And as we all know, Pain was struggling against a half Nine Tail Jinchuriki. Not the full thing, half of it. So he's nowhere near as strong as the full Nine Tails. And Pain lost to this. So, you know, if you just put 2 and 2 together, if you add the other half to the Nine Tails and actually make it the full thing that can shoot a tail beast bomb at you, I don't think Pain is surviving very long, if I'm being 100% honest with y'all. And I would hope to think that no one else thinks she's going to survive very long against the full Nine Tails anyways. None of the passive Pain are dealing with the Nine Tails. That's just not happening. So this 14-year-old Obito is, like I said, probably the biggest threat that Pain has to worry about. Because OrangeMask Obito, I'm going to get into him a little bit later. It's definitely an easier fight than with this 14-year-old Obito. And, you know, with this Obito, I truly feel that as long as Nagato, Pain, whichever one you want to talk about, because I truly don't feel like it changes whichever you're going against. Whether it's Nagato or Pain, both of them lose to 14-year-old Obito. I'm going to say that right here, right now. It's no doubt in my mind that he will not beat them, little to no difficulty. Now, of course, Pain has his abilities. He's an intelligent fighter. He would think he knows Obito's ability, but as we know, even Conan thought she knew the full extent of Obito's ability, and she threw in paper bombs infused with her paper, and she thought she caught Obito lacking, but sadly she was mistaken. She threw paper bombs that went off for over 10 minutes long, and not even that was enough to kill Obito. So I truly don't think Pain knows very much more, because since they're both so close, I'm pretty sure they both talked about it. Because if Conan was in this situation to try and believe that she knew the full extent of his power, pretty sure Pain has talked about it. But that's also another thing about this Obito right here, is that he's a much more dangerous fighter. And this is roughly around the Obito, even though he lost the Nine Tails after he went to go have conflict with Nagato, this is not too far away from the Obito that actually takes Nagato and starts the Akatsuki all over again with them. So if he's taking direct orders from an Obito less of one of the Nine Tails, then what difference is that gonna make? You know, now I feel like I should move on from, you know, the Yellow Mask Obito, and I feel like I should start to talk about Orange Mask Obito a little bit. And now, man, this is tough, because I feel like I'm just bashing Pain, because he truly doesn't deserve this. But you know, Obito's such a tough fighter to go against. Now, actually, before we get into the next part of this about Orange Mask Obito, I completely forgot to speak on the whole Genjutsu aspect of this entire fight. I guess I'll put it in right here. Now, Genjutsu can also play an extremely fat factor in the way this fight can play off. And I feel this way mainly because if Jiraiya was able to put some of the passing Pain, I want to say it was 3 of them, in the side of Genjutsu, I feel like Obito's Sharingan Genjutsu is a lot, well, I wouldn't say a lot above that, but I definitely feel like it's up there. Because Obito, as we all know, was able to control the full Nine Tails. Not half of it like what Naruto has, but the full thing. And that's a lot to put under Genjutsu. And he was also able to control the 4th Mizukage Yagura like a complete puppet. Now, the thing about that is, it might be impressive. Okay, he was able to control him, but the thing is, this guy was a perfect Jinchuriki. B was trying his hardest to state to everyone and made it so clear that Jinchuriki were not able to be put under Genjutsu. But the fact that Obito was able to control this man and basically turn the mist from their village to being known as the Blood Mist just by controlling him is something really impressive, because this is some type of Kodo Matsukami level Genjutsu. Because as we all know, Kodo Matsukami controls the user without them being aware, but Obito is basically doing the same thing, and we know he has no Kodo Matsukami because Shisu was not dead at this point in time just yet. So it's actually like really important to state Genjutsu in this fight. I don't know how it almost slipped my mind. And it's also stated that Obito always has a spare Sharingan on him, because speaking on OrangeMask Obito always has a spare Sharingan on him, especially since the Uchiha massacre had already happened. So he always keeps an extra Sharingan on him just in case for Izanagi. And that's also a big part of the fight. You know, if Pain decides to somehow catch him off guard, then it's definitely a way for Obito to get up out of there using Izanagi. Okay, now I feel like this is a good time where I can finally talk about OrangeMask Obito. Now I'm going to be 100% honest that OrangeMask Obito, granted he loses the chains, like I said a little bit earlier, when he gets older, he gets so much more stronger that it's actually kind of crazy. He gets a lot better with his Sharingan, he gets a lot better with Kamui usage, he gets faster, he gets better fighting, everything all around gets better. And I truly feel like even OrangeMask Obito vs Pain, it truly does not change a lot, because for the things that he's missing from his 14-year-old version, being the chains and the nine tail, he makes up for himself being so much more stronger. Because even as a 14-year-old kid without Kamui and his hacked abilities, Minato thought that he was well worth being a nine-tail Jinchuriki level. So even at 14-year-old Obito, he had the chakra control, and he felt that he had the chakra needed, that he could have been the full nine-tails Jinchuriki, not even half like what Naruto was. So him being much older and being much just better and stronger all around, I still don't feel like it makes much of a difference. Now, I know the OrangeMask Obito explanation was a lot smaller than the 14-year-old, because, I mean, OrangeMask Obito doesn't have too much feet. I mean, we know his Genjutsu gets better, his Ninjutsu gets better. You know, like I just clearly said, everything gets better. So, for everything that he loses, once again, it just, his strength and everything else makes up for that. So, I don't see it being a problem that he may be able to Genjutsu the Pains and teleport them away. I don't see the fact that even if Pain decides to use Chibaku Tensei or Almighty Push, we all know Kamui can phase right through that. And like I said a little bit earlier in the Genjutsu section, if one of the Pains, if not, you know, all of them somehow team up on him and catch him off guard, he has Izanagi. And I feel like the only way Obito could even possibly lose against the Six Path is just the sheer overpowerment of going against a 6-on-1. But other than that, I don't see it being much of a big difference. Now, I'm going to get off the OrangeMask Obito section because I understand it was small, but it isn't very much to talk about OrangeMask Obito, because once again, I'm sorry for keep saying this, but he gets so much stronger. So it just makes up for everything else he lost. Now, I'm going to touch on Rinnegan Obito, and I'm not even going to touch on freaking Jubito. We already know Jubito literally might even one-shot Pain. I don't know, Nagato as well. So that's irrelevant. Now, Rinnegan Obito also isn't very much of a fair fight for Pain. Nagato either. Both of them, it's not even a joke. Like, it's not a question. Rinnegan Obito rips them in half. He just shreds through them. Six-tail beast at his disposal. Kamui, all the Rinnegan abilities to counter. I mean, just to really go right back at him. You know, so that's another short one. I'm sorry about that one, but it just is what it is. Now, I've been talking about Obito versus Pain most of the time, so I'm going to touch on Nagato. Now, Nagato, as we all know, is no joke himself. I've always thought that Edo Nagato is like no joke, no laughing matter, no slouch. He means business. And as we seen when he fought B and Naruto, that if Itachi did not step in and use Kodomatsu Kami himself, they were gonna get shredded. They were dead right then and there. Now, even though they fought Obito, they did do a pretty good job against Obito. It wasn't that bad. Now, when they went against Nagato, as I just said, they almost got killed. Now, granted, Obito had his reasons that he could not just kill both of them like how Nagato was. But at the same time, they still did better for avoiding, getting captured, while Nagato was literally trying to rip their souls out. And so that's why I feel that Nagato, of course, has his own strengths, and he definitely could do a good job against maybe 14-year-old Obito and even OrangeMask Obito. He probably could win, I would say. He'll have a better chance than, let's say, the Six Paths. That's much I can't say. He will have a much better chance than the Six Paths. But against Sharingan Obito, once again, like I just said, he gets shredded up. He gets ripped in half. But I feel like with that out the way, I could, pretty chilly end this video off with all my statements I've made. I feel that, these are all good reasonings. I do feel like I kind of didn't give Pain the most fairest of chances, but I did state, of course, in the beginning of the video how I truly felt, and it was more so a reasoning video, and also how basically anything that Pain threw at Obito, it was just gonna immediately be countered. Yeah, so that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you make it all the way to the end of the video, please go down there in the comment section and type in "made it." And if while you're out there down in the comment section, you might as well leave another versus battle for a future video. But like I said, with that out the way, I'll see you guys in the next one.